Welcome to Play in School TV, episode 29. I'm Rich Prado. In today's episode, we're hanging out with Urban Meyer from Ohio State. Well, kind of.
And I try to interrupt them, so wait a minute. Be the best player you can on your team, and it'll all take care of itself. Quit worrying about camps. Quit worrying about combines. Eyes up here. Don't worry about that. Not one time will I ask a 7-on-7 coach, should I take them? Never will do that. I will ask the high school coach, especially if it's a big-time program, and the guy I know, should I take that player? And if I know him, I trust him, he says, yes, I take you at Ohio State. If he says to me, no, that kid's more worried about some other 7-on-7 or some combine or openings and all that, which all that stuff's great. But you want to go play major college football here, you better be a great player at your high school. And you better respect that high school coach. There's too much other stuff, and that includes the parents. If I hear there's some parent that doesn't, well, my high school coach doesn't do a good job, and I'm like, wait a minute. That high school coach doesn't help. What the hell are you talking about?
Guys, that video you just saw was from a couple weeks ago. I'll put the link to it. It came off of the Ohio State Facebook page, so the link will be below if you want to watch the entire thing. Really incredible message about the value of being a good teammate rather than being the guy who's just looking to get to the next level, to get to the next level, to get to the next level without the core principle of being a good teammate. And what Urban Meyer was saying was, if you're a good teammate, the rest will take care of itself. Now, I had a takeaway from that is a really good lesson that I think all college baseball coaches should take away from this video. The lesson is to not forget about your high school coaches. Right now, travel baseball is probably the best it's ever been. There's such organization to it where a college coach can sit and see hundreds, thousands of prospects from one spot. But you have to remember about that kid's high school coach. That guy knows that kid on a completely different level. He sees them or has access to that kid 250 days a year, sees that kid from 8 a.m. to 5 or 6 or 7 to 8 o'clock at night if they have a game. The relationship that a high school coach has the potential to have with a player is far deeper than the type of relationship that a kid's going to have with a travel ball coach that's with him for a couple hours during a ball game on the weekend a few weeks a year. Okay, so college coaches, you're obviously not going to call 1,000 high school coaches and ask who their best guy is. That's not the move here. The move is this: once you have your list of guys, your prospects, the guys up on your whiteboard, narrowed down to just a handful of guys, you have to get on the phone and call those high school coaches. They're going to be able to give you the real story. Okay, those high school coaches are not worried about getting that kid on their website. Those guys don't have websites the way the travel ball teams do. Okay, so it's not like they're worried about their alumni list. So once you have your list narrowed down, a 5-minute conversation with the high school coach might be the most valuable 5 minutes in this kid's entire recruiting process from your perspective. Could save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache if that kid's not a good fit. And a quick conversation with a high school coach could tell you all you need to know, both positive or negative. So I want to tell you a couple stories of warning in a couple situations that I'm familiar with where a college coach never reached out to a high school coach and it has come back to burn them. First story is of a kid who looked exactly like you would think a showcase guy looks like. Big, long, athletic, BP hitter all day long. Tremendous looking kid at that showcase, fielding 5 ground balls and hitting, a round of BP. Okay. He had a great workout somewhere, caught the eye of an SEC program. SEC program never reached out to the high school coach. What the high school coach would have told the SEC coaching staff was that he's good for an error a game. He's good for a strikeout or 2 per game. He's good for yelling at his teammates after those strikeouts and those errors every single game. And he's also known to yell at the umpires. Okay, so obviously not a team first kind of guy. Now, all the tools, all the skills in the world, but fast forward a couple years, you look at the statistics, kid has 50 ABs in 2 years. Okay, now the next thing I would have asked if I was the college coach was how's his performance beyond all those negatives? Well, even the performance wasn't strong for this particular kid. Low batting average. And to me, if you have a low batting average in a high school, I don't know how you're going to have a strong batting average in the SEC. Is the pitching in the SEC worse than the pitching at a local high school league? I don't think so. So a quick phone call would have saved that program a little bit of trouble with a kid who's not producing and not a team first kind of guy. A 5-minute conversation would have handled that. Another example of a Division I program that never reached out to a high school story I know involves a kid landing on the college campus and was a troublemaker of the felony type. Okay, not like just sort of getting in trouble on the baseball field and yelling at teammates. The kid is an actual felon. Okay, now I don't want to get into the details of the story, but again, a quick phone call to a high school coach, and there had already been a pattern of really bad behavior off the baseball field that the high school coaches could have imparted on the college coaches. So guys, college coaches, once you have your list narrowed down to a few guys, spend a few minutes, get on the phone and call that high school coach, because he's going to give you some really important next level information. Now, both those stories were of negative stories. Okay, those were negative situations, but the flip side is true too. Though you want to hear those situations where the kid is just a winner. He's a great kid. He's a great student. He comes from a great family, and a 5-minute conversation with a high school coach is going to re-emphasize why you're recruiting that kid. Okay, but hearing the negative stuff is going to help you get that kid off your list really quickly, because at the end of the day, you don't want that kid representing your program. Okay, guys, I'd love to hear your feedback. There's a comment section below this video on the new website. Also, don't forget to follow me on all of the social media platforms at Play in School. Talk to you soon.